Predict trajectory is strategy software for a specific operational decision. Forecasts the future development and direction of identified trends based on historical data and momentum analysis. This video explains what the tool does, why the workflow matters, and how the output becomes useful decision evidence. The problem is that strategy teams often manage this workflow with scattered inputs, inconsistent review rules, and manual interpretation. At quarantadue.ai, every MCP workflow starts from the real tool interface, not from a generic prompt. The goal is simple. Keep the expert in control while the system structures the evidence. Inputs, reasoning, and outputs stay connected in one reviewable flow. Now the results become easier to compare, easier to review, and easier to explain. Predict trajectory narrows that process into a repeatable model so teams can compare cases without rebuilding the logic each time. Predict trajectory starts with a defined input contract. Typical inputs include number of historical data points, historical values, comma separated, future periods to project, momentum factor, recent versus historical weight, and saturation point, really no saturation. Keeping these fields explicit reduces ambiguity and makes every run easier to audit. The workflow then applies calculate the normalized momentum indicator by computing a weighted average of recent growth rates, scaled by the momentum factor to emphasize recent trends versus historical averages. You determine the acceleration rate of the trend by analyzing the second derivative of a fitted curve to the historical data, indicating whether growth is speeding up, steady, or slowing down. Project future values by extending the historical trend using the calculated momentum and acceleration, applying a quadratic projection model over the specified number of future periods. Adjust the baseline projection to account for a saturation point by applying a logistic growth model that asymptotically approaches the saturation limit if a saturation point is specified. And calculate the upper bound of an 80% confidence interval around the adjusted projection, scaling the historical volatility by the volatility factor and the square root of time. This keeps the process deterministic, reviewable, and aligned with how strategy teams actually make decisions. Predict trajectory returns structured outputs such as trend momentum, acceleration rate, saturation risk, projection with confidence bands, and detailed projection values. These outputs are designed to support review, reporting, comparison, and follow-up actions. The value of predict trajectory is not just automation, it is a controlled way to turn repeated strategy work into a documented business process with clear inputs, transparent logic, and reusable outputs. Fourth,